Hi, Dyslexia Genius here. We're going to start rebuilding the carriage for an Amberola A-1. And you know, that's how it looks before we put all this stuff in there. But the critical part are the two bearings in here. And these two bearings are special. It has an oil hole here and then a hole here for that screw to hold it in place. And I'm going to assemble it here in a minute. But what you have to understand on these is, if my angel can focus in on the inside, they have a recess cut area in here for oiling. So when you oil, the oil comes into this hole, this galley that they've cut with a lathe, and that keeps the bearing oiled. And you have to understand that. So how do we do all this? Well, usually this little screw there is stuck in place or gets rusted in place on these. So what are we going to do to prevent it from rusting so someone can take this apart in another 100 years if they're going to rebuild it? What we're going to do is we're going to anti-seize these threads when we put it together so it'll come apart way down the road. And you have to make sure that you clean the whole inside and you get the galley for the oiling all cleaned out. I flex toned it a little, which helped get the hardened oil out, and this happens a lot on them. Then you want to stick them both on your mandrel. This one fits here, and you want to make sure that there's no play in there. There'll be a little bit of play, but not much. And then you're going to check the other one. It runs down here at the end, and you're going to go no play. Then you're going to come in, and you're going to go, the screw goes into here. All the screws have a little notch down round piece. You can see it's notched down, which fits into that hole like that and holds this bearing in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick the bearing in.
No oil or anything on the
bearing? No oil or anything. So what you do is you say, I have a hole there, and I have the hole there for oiling. So I'm going to push this in, line up that hole for the screw, look to the top, and I go, yes, it'll oil. Now what you're going to do is you're going to gently see if that's tight. These should be at a slide fit, which means there's no clearance. It should be tight and no play. So you come back in here. Now what you do, you take one of the screws, and we have the anti-seize compound again. We're going to take a toothpick and we can just steal some right here. There we go. And we're going to gently coat those threads with anti-seize, just like that. Then you're going to stick it in. Come back, it's on, you can see it's on the threads, and that'll just go in. And those are snug. You can take a paper towel and wipe off the excess anti-seize. And 100 years down the road, somebody's going to take this apart just to clean it and make sure it runs right. And I go, wow, somebody anti-seized those screws for.
Couldn't you just put oil on it as
You could put oil on it, but this is, we're looking for 100 years.
Okay.
These things are tough to get out. The last one I did, I had to come in with a diamond cutter and cut out the slot because they had burred out trying to get it apart. They literally get stuck in there. And it doesn't take a lot of anti-seize. Now, without oil, you put your mandrel in. And once you add oil, this thing will just run and run and run and run. And that's how it should be, just like that.
So where are you going to put the oil?
The oil goes in this top hole right here and this top hole here, but we won't do that yet because on the rest of the assembly, we have this shaft. This shaft fits into this hole. I flexed on this hole. This is where the back rod of it rests on, and I flexed on this. Why do we do this? Because this shaft runs right here, and this is what turns, this pivots with this piece and this piece underneath, and that's what turns it on and off. So this literally sits on the shaft through here, and it goes click, 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 on, off. But this shaft will have wear because nobody oils the ends, but you want to make sure that this shaft goes in, into the holes, and it turns freely like that. On assembly, we will oil these two ends because it's going to be, this will be here, and this will be up in here like this.
You're not going to put the whole thing together right now?
No, I'm only doing the bearings. I have to clean all the rest of the parts before assembly and do a test fit. And that's how you put your bearings in. And that's my tip for the day.